Hey guys, Tom here, and I'm going to be, this video is going to be about old body style power strokes and their transmission upgrades. Two upgrades you're going to be seeing in this video is the trans lines that go from the transmission to the front to where the radiator is. Also a second one is making a switch to lock the torque converter when you want to. Instead of the computer deciding, you can decide with if you want to lock it or unlock it. But I'm going to start off by giving you some information about the truck, trans, and the upgrade first of about the lines. If you don't know already, this has got the E4OD automatic transmission in it. The lines that came with it in 95 and 96, and I believe part of 97, were 5/16 trans lines. Small trans lines for a heavy duty transmission, not that good for cooling. So one of the upgrades is switching over to the later variant 4R100 trans lines. Direct bolt and swap. There's nothing needed to be modified other than just remove and replace. The only thing you have to change is the fittings on the bottom end of the radiator for the 3/8 hose instead of the 5/16. I'll show you the lines over here on the passenger side. As you can see, direct bolting, nothing really needed to be modified or changed. Downpipe's a little close to it, but oh well, it's very tight in here. The modifications, like I said, you just have to change the fittings on the bottom of the radiator. That's it. But other than that, it bolts right in. And the added thing you get from this is the pressure line bypass. In case it gets a clog in those lines, it'll just bypass that and go U-turn the fluid right back into the transmission. So that's number one, upgraded lines. Let's go over to the papers to show you the part numbers and everything I use to change out the cooler, the lines, and the fittings on the the radiator. So the reason this works is that the 4R100 and E4OD are exactly the same transmission, basically the exact same transmission. E4OD is the first gen of that train, and then the 4R100 was the upgraded one with a few more sensors and built a little better. But to get everything that I put on my truck in yours, here's what you need. You need the two tubes, part number there, and then the bypass. That's the 3 from the dealer. And then over here is the cooler I put in. You can look that up and you can use that cooler or use your own cooler, doesn't matter. And then this is the adapter kits. I got 2 of them because I needed the male fittings out of both of them, because only one kit comes with a male and female. You need 2 males, so that's why. And they're like $10 each, I believe, or less than that. Yeah, around $10. This was a long time ago since I did this. So that's the adapter kit I used, and that's the cooler I used. And then you have the lines here that I used. I'll put all this in the description for the lines upgraded. And then the hose, I just went to my auto parts store and grabbed some hose. So that was the basic line upgrades, and this is a very popular upgrade for your old body style E4OD that has the small cooler lines. From the smaller cooler lines, and with the old cooler I had, which was quite significantly smaller, went from a 190 trans temp empty to 150, 160 empty, and towing, he went from, don't remember offhand, it was somewhere over 200 to 180, 190 towing a 6,000 pound trailer. So better, yes it is. It has more flow, it can cool better, and it's a very common upgrade you'll find on all the forums. So that second upgrade is the torque converter lock switch. Now what you want to look for is you want to come over here to this portion of the engine compartment, and here will be the IDM, and then down here is the PCM. This whole plug slash pin out is what you want, and what you're looking for is a purple with yellow tracer wire coming out of there, and you want to splice into that like I did here. Splice into that and run a switch all the way inside the cab, and basically run that switch to a ground, and then you'll have yourself a manual locking torque converter switch. So come in here, see my switch right there. That's locked, that's unlocked, that's my torque converter switch. It's right at the perfect level when the transmission's in drive, and it's a much better, I'd say it's much better for a little bit of fuel economy. I haven't really seen it. It was practically about the same fuel economy wise in mine. I just did it for the reason that every time it upshifts, it unlocks. So, like, let's say you're in overdrive going around like 50 miles an hour, and you need to pass somebody and you stomp on it, it shifts to third. When it gets out of third, or gets out of overdrive and goes to third, it will unlock the torque converter and then relock it. I didn't like that. So that's why I did that. Now a couple things about doing this mod. One, you cannot lock the torque converter in first because of the stator in the torque converter. You're gonna tear something up, because that's what I've read on these forums of doing this. You're gonna tear something up, so don't lock it in first. Second through fourth is where you lock it. I don't think even the computer locks the torque converter clutch in first, because every time you stomp on it, it winds up first, and when it shifts to second, it also locks the torque converter there. Last thing, trying to think here, try and remember to turn this off when you come to a stop. I came to a stop sign, installed the thing. Yeah, I've stalled it a few times. It's not good for it to do that, but it's not terrible unless you do it like every single time. I've done it a few times. The truck still runs just fine, no problems. Just be mindful of that switch when you're driving and you're coming up to a stop. And then the last thing that comes to my mind right now is a few of you people might ask, can I use this mod to push start my truck? I'm going to say no, because there's no line pressure in the tranny when it's off, because the front pump's driven by the crankshaft of the engine. So there's no line pressure to basically activate that clutch, so it's useless. So there's some information about that. Let me show you the pinout of the computer so you can make your switch, and also basically a very small diagram to just make it simple. So here's the pinout diagram, and I've written some notes on here for people. This is your pinout diagram. This is the same diagram from 95 to 97. The pinout you want to modify is number 28. Purple with a yellow tracer. It's the torque converter clutch solenoid. On the connector, it's right there, so right at the top, as you can see where mine was, kind of hard to see, but you're looking for pin 28. It's purple with a yellow tracer. You're going to splice into that. This is the same with 95 trucks, or 97 California trucks. It's the same wire, but it's in pin 54 instead of 28. That's the only thing difference I saw. Every 97 to 95 is all the same. Just the 97 California trucks were pin 54. So here's just a diagram that basically shows you what was done. You got the PCM there, and then that wire comes out and goes to the torque converter clutch solenoid. All you're really doing is this part right here. Splicing into it, wire to a switch, and that switch is wired to a ground. Simple as that. This is like another popular upgrade to an old body style Powerstroke is doing that. So basically this is the pinout for the truck. You can find this on Google or something like that. I went to my school and got this, so as you can see, all the pinouts right there. Kind of just letting you see it in case you want anything else out of here. Last page. Yep, it's only 3 pages. So that's that part of the tranny upgrade. Most of the time right now, I don't exactly use it because I haven't really seen a increase in fuel mileage, having the RPMs down low. So I use it every now and then when I feel like it, and it's nice to have when you're towing for having some engine braking. But other than that, that's what it is. It's just 2 popular upgrades you can do on these old trucks to make them go and just be as good as a new truck out of there. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment. This is what I did to my trucks. This is just to show you what I did. And thanks for watching.